What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 661. I am your host, Stevie V. Holding down the fort with me, the OG of TAGSPodcast, Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm really well. How are you?
Really good, really good. It's feeling really good in spring here. And what did you do this past weekend?
So I actually went to a comedy show with my best friend, and then we went out to a few bars afterwards, and we got apps and drinks before we went to the show. So we saw Jessica Kirson.
Oh my God. I know. And you were telling me offline a second ago. Diego and I are huge, huge fans. He loves her, and I've seen her live here in New York early on in 2008 in her career, and then I saw her on a cruise once. And I remember going up to her in the salad bar line and being like, "P.S. I love you," and she was so cool and just normal.
So
but
fun.
What did you love about Jessica?
I just love her sense of humor, and I love that she loves the gays, and she made a speech about transgender in our community at the end of her show.
Oh, wow.
Just like knowing that we're like going through a rough time, and that a lot of their rights are being taken away, and everything, just all of everything to do with our community. She just made a speech about and told everyone to like hang in there, and she was just awesome. She's so funny, and I love just her crowd work, and I love her humor, and it's very dark and crass and inappropriate and sexual, and she just is really hilarious. And my best friend thought the same. And then she also threw in there that her Hulu special just came out.
Yes. And you just gave me something to watch tonight, and I can't wait. Yes. I'm the Man is what it's called, and I cannot wait to watch it. Yeah, I mean, I think she is a lesbian and has always been, what's really cool is she's a lesbian comedian, and she's just hilarious. And she does these things where she'll check in with herself, like her mind, and she might be going a little crazy. And
oh my God, yes! At first I've never seen that, but then I knew what was going on, obviously in person. But I've never seen that from anything I followed her on. Like on TikTok, it's always clips, and they don't show that part. So I was like, at first, what the fuck is going on? But then I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny.
She checks in with her mind and her sanity, and she talks herself out. She'll like pull herself to the side of the stage and just kind of like pull herself out of like this.
She's
mental
like,
moment.
That was so stupid. That was terrible. That was a bad joke.
Why did you think that this was funny? Like, you told yourself that you could do this before, and now what are you talking about? You can't do this, and this is so. And then it's like a stream of consciousness that she goes in. That's hilarious, and then this would be a curious question to ask you, because alongside her new Hulu special, she's currently on a tour. But I'm wondering, does she talk to the audience? Because it's kind of things she used to do in small venues, but she's in now larger venues, and she can go off for a long period of time, just really spontaneously asking people in the audience and making all these funny jokes. Does she do that in the large special, in your live special?
Yeah, she did. So she doesn't do it in the Hulu special, because I actually just watched it Sunday when I was hungover after the show. I wanted to check it out, and it's actually very similar, like the set that she does, but she doesn't do any crowd work in the Hulu special, maybe because
it's too difficult. And
yeah, but at our show, she did almost the entire front row, and it was funny because it was all couples, and they were all lesbian or gay couples, and one of them was an anesthesiologist, and she's like, "Did you bring me some? I really would love to be put out." And it was just like everyone went like hysterical. But yeah, her crowd work is like my favorite.
It's brilliant, because you realize that she doesn't know who's going to be in the front row, and When I saw her the second time, I remember on a cruise, I remember saying to my friend, we're not sitting up close because unless it's like a drag queen show, unless you want to be called out, we will out. And it's all meant in just and fun humor, but my
Yeah,
God, it's all spontaneous and real. And yeah,
totally.
yeah. So put that, if you can see her live, check out Jessica Kirson, but absolutely watch her first ever actually
Yeah.
special on TV on Hulu, and I'm the Man, and just so hilarious. Oh, I'm so happy. And welcome back to the TAGSPodcast. You were in Hawaii.
Thank you.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to hear about Hawaii. You were on the Big Island, and what can you tell us?
It was incredible. The weather was beautiful. My brother proposed to his fiance,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, we just had a blast. I love just floating around in any body of water. We went to a bunch of different hotel pools, and then we found uh, beautiful beaches to hang out at. One of the most beautiful was the last day we were there, and we visited one of the gay bars. It was like probably it was in Kona, so on the Big Island, we were at Waikoloa Village, and so it was like 30 minutes away, but we Ubered there after dinner. And it actually was funny because it ended up being a Latin music night with like a live band, which
Wow.
is not really my favorite type of music. I
Mm.
like it, but I'm not like a big Latin dancer. So
Right.
it's funny because my white boyfriend and my brother's girlfriend, fiance, were running all over the dance floor, like twirling and everything. And my brother and I, the
Oh my
two
God.
half Puerto Ricans, were off on the side.
The actual Latinos. Yeah.
But it was great. It was very cool.
Is it kind of a larger bar?
This one isn't very big, no, but it was packed inside,
Okay.
and I think everyone came to see that band specifically. And it's very gay decor inside, like disco balls and all light up signs, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my friends own a bar there in the Big Island, and I can't remember if it's that one or not, but I've been there once before, and you just drive upon these like black lava on the Big Island, which is really surreal and super cool. I just love the Big Island. I think I'm so glad you got to go, because I think from the East Coast, often it's so far and most of us haven't gone there. I mean, I'm originally from California, but I'm so glad you got to go there. Would you go back to Hawaii
I
knowing?
definitely would. I mean, the flight sucks,
Yeah.
but I did love it enough that I would do it again for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
and congratulations to your brother.
Thank
And
you.
that's really cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into some hot topics. There's a lot of them. Starting off, we just had to shout out to Drag Race star Jiggy Caliente, who just died sadly. She was on season 4 of Drag Race, and then on season 6, All Stars. Filipino American. She was only 44,
Well,
and been, she suffered from a leg infection that put her in the hospital. Then actually they had to remove most of her right leg, sadly.
right.
And while she was in the hospital, she just didn't make it. And sadly, and passed away. And but the outpouring of love from Bianca Del Rio, all of the queens, because she was so funny and just brought her own brand of comedy. And she was really a force because she was Filipino American and really brought that kind of sense of um, humor. And it's just, our hearts go out to her friends and her family, because it's always sad when somebody like this we lose that was an entertainer like this.
Definitely really like devastating.
Devastating, I know. Yeah. Switching gears to Puerto Vallarta, I mentioned recently that I was there, that I'm always there, and I went to the Tryst Hotel, and it's Tristan Shucraft's new luxury gay hotel that he's opened up. He's on a quest to open up properties all over, including Fire Island Pines, which looks really cool. That could use a refresh, I think. And his latest currently is the Tryst in Puerto Vallarta, which I went. A friend of mine works there, and we went to a drag brunch that I was talking about recently that was so cool. Well, they've been open for a little bit, but you know how soft launches are. They had their official launch over the weekend, and it was a who's who of gay and not gay celebrities. That, I mean, we're talking performances by Demi Lovato singing "Cool for the Summer," and I love that song. Matt Rogers was the MC of one of their huge events. Jennifer Coolidge showed up. Some of the housewives were there, which I thought was pretty cool, including Cynthia Bailey, Sonia Morgan, Laverne Cox was there. Every gay celebrity that you can think of was there. John Sibley was there. I mentioned Matt Rogers. There was performances by the what is his name? Well, lots and lots of people. You saw the pictures. Oh, I know who I wanted. Anthony Porowski with his shirt off, looking really good. Performances by Erica Jane poolside. And
I know, how awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a who's who of LGBTQ and our allyship at this. I mean, say what you want about Tristan, but he knows how to pull in a A-list crowd. And what do you think about this opening and what went on?
I think it looks amazing, and it looked like a lot of fun. I saw it looked like they had a drag brunch, a pool party, multiple like parties at night, and it all looked a blast and star-studded, and everyone was dressed in their resort wear. It looked really amazing.
Resort wear, amazing. Like everybody was, and I was so happy too because I just thought, including a whole choreographed fireworks show to Abracadabra. Of course, Lady Gaga, which, I mean, what could be gayer and more fabulous than that? And so I'm really happy for this too, because my friend works there. I already went there and I thought it was fabulous. The drag brunch in the courtyard is so worth it. And if this is the kind of excitement I think we need this right now, right? We need to see this kind of support, but also, we're at a point now, Jeremy, where we have enough of our LGBTQ celebrities in their own right. And it's kind of an exciting time. I mean, what do you think about just that fact?
I mean, that fact alone is great. And I just saw a clip of Jennifer Coolidge there and just how much she loves the gay community. And I saw them referencing her lines from White Lotus, like the gays are trying to kill me. It's just epic.
She's epic. And I mean, I think the article said we may not see Jennifer Coolidge there on a weekly basis, but just her presence there was iconic. And of course, everybody is, just loves Jennifer. But kudos to him and congrats on that opening. And wow, what a way to open up the. I was talking to a guy that was working there for this particular. He was waiting for the opening. He was working there. This hot boy who was a shop boy, and he literally said that once this opening is over, he's coming right over to New York, where he's going to spend time with his friends and family in Queens, and then he's going right off to Fire Island to do all the stuff that's happening over there for this summer. So I was like, wow, I know, crazy, but happy for him. Okay, well, I thought we saved this topic for you because I thought this was really funny because you told me a story recently about going to one of your friends' bachelorette parties. You're kind of at that age where a lot of your girlfriends, maybe now guy friends, are getting married, and gay men were getting real about being the quote-unquote token gay on bachelorette trips. Let me read a little bit more. We'll discuss. When podcasters Dana Jo Seigelstein turned to the gays of TikTok with a question about wedding party dynamics, she was hit with kind of a wave of brutal honesty. Are gay guys jealous of the token gay who gets to go on the Bachelorette trip? She asked. Because if you've noticed, when girls go on a Bachelorette trip and they invite any gay guy, it's one. Only one of you gets chosen. Do they battle it out like Survivor? Are they jealous? She mused. I just need to know, like, did you sleep your way to the Bachelorette party? How did you get chosen? Well, surprisingly, a lot of them said, no, we didn't want to get chosen. The battle is to not get chosen because it sometimes becomes an obligation. You end up having to pull all the luggage in because you're the guy, the token guy. You have to do all this stuff. So a lot of it is the battle of not getting to be the one. And I can not help but remember you telling me you are of that age where a lot of your girlfriends, you've moved back to the Boston, Massachusetts area. A lot of your girlfriends, maybe not now, but at least when you first moved back, I can remember, you got invited to a lot of weddings from your girlfriends of years past. And you've told us a couple stories of being that. Were you the one gay?
So on 2 of them, I was the one gay. And then on one, there was 2 of us.
Okay.
Me and another friend. So it was 3 total that I've been on. And I'm like, now I'm maxed out. I think I may have to go on my brother's bachelor trip, whatever the hell that ends up being. But
that'll be different, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I'm done just with going to bachelorettes altogether. It's just a lot, but it is fun. It's just a lot.
Well, okay, so it's funny because I don't even think, I'm planning my wedding later this year, October, and I haven't even thought about that. Diego reminded me at one point, like, and I'm like, oh, right, yeah, who knows if we'll do anything, or maybe we'll just do something jointly. But I think I can hear him in the other room going like, no, we won't. But who knows? But it probably won't be this big to do. I'll just do something fun, I think, because I am in my 50s. But it is kind of a big thing for a lot of younger people that are getting married. And do you agree? So the podcaster was really asking that question. Did you battle it out to be that one token gay? Or now that you know, after being on 2 or 3 of these, would you really want to opt out?
So I think after experiencing 3 of them, I would most likely, moving forward, opt out. It's just a lot of time with a lot of women. And on top of that, it's spending a shitload of money, and not that I'm like cheap or anything, but it's just like it's so many activities. Like all of the ones that I've been to, it was like one event after the next event after the next thing. Like literally when we got there on the day to get to the Airbnb, there was printed out itineraries.
Oh my gosh.
Every few hours, and it's just like you're on for 3 whole days. The one thing that I did love was actually on all 3 of them, I got excellent bedrooms because
You were the token gay.
Yes, because girls want a room with other girls, not gays, especially because you could tell some of the girls don't have any gay friends in their life, so they're not as comfortable as the brides that invited me. So on one of them, I did actually end up sharing the room with the bride. And then on the other 2, I got my own room, which was great.
And I remember, I forget where you went. You told this already on the show once, but you were on a boat trip or something, and maybe you ate something that wasn't so fresh.
Oh
Would you mind me telling that story? Because it was, you would,
I piggybacked it with a weekend with one of our good friends in South Beach. So,
right. Okay. Yes.
So the Bachelorette was in Fort Lauderdale. So you can take the train. They have like, I don't remember what the name of the train is, but you can take the train from South Beach that goes straight to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a newer train, and it's awesome and fast. It's like in an hour they get you there, and
that's awesome. Actually,
it's like, I think it's 2 stops. So I went to South Beach for like 2 or 3 nights before, because that's plenty of time to spend in Miami.
Exactly.
I had a indulgent what is it, black
sushi kind of.
it was a black truffle caviar sushi roll that
Lobster, I believe.
yes, lobster on it, and I got very, very sick, and so I didn't know it till like the next morning when I got to the Airbnb with all of the girls, and I'm like helping decorate and set up for the freaking bride to show up and everyone else, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm on the toilet for that whole night, and then the next morning is a boat ride, and it's like a party boat, and we pull over into this little like area to swim and everything. And so the guy gives, I'm the only guy on this specific bachelorette, and he gives us like flamingo and unicorn floats to float around. So I grabbed one of those and I'm floating away from all of the girls purposely. And then the second that he asked everyone to get back on the boat, I shit my pants in the ocean, and it was really awful and probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever done.
When nature calls, I
And
mean,
there
listen,
was no way, there was nothing I could do to
there's
stop.
nothing you can do. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal literally was on TV set on ESPN recently, and while they were live, shimmied his way off camera, and they're like, "Where are you going?" And the way he shimmied away, everybody knew exactly what was going on. And I remember being a friend of ours. We had at one point a booth at Folsom Street Fair, and I remember somebody within our close circle was like, "We partied a little bit too much the night before," and she was just like, I have to like, and I'm like, go to the porta potty now.
Oh
Like,
my god! And
just
you know how
go to the, and
bizarre.
when, but listen, like, it's like, who wants to go to the porta potty anyway?
Right.
Unless it's really just number one. But it was that kind of an emergency. We were working, and I said, you know what? You just have to go. Like, and she was like, yep, doing it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, when nature calls, but yeah, I
It's funny
mean,
that was actually part of Jesse Kirson's show on Saturday. One of her bits was talking about how she in real life shit herself in the hallway of her apartment building in Long Island.
oh,
And she said that the neighbor came out and was like, like the next morning and said, I can't believe someone would do that or whatever. And then she lied and blamed it on a different neighbor.
of course she did. Of course she did. Love it. Love her. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, moving on to exes. Sadly, there's a couple of exes that have broken up. They're very, if you will, social media high profile couples. First, starting off with Chris Olsen. You know Chris Olsen? He's a TikToker.
Oh yes, but I didn't know who he was dating at the time. Like
Okay,
I
so then
remember his other like boyfriend from the past.
so he's been in a relationship for a while and with Patrick Johnson, and I don't know if that's the one you know about.
Oh no, it's not that one. It's the one from like a while ago, like probably 5 years at least.
Okay, so Chris Olsen is really shot up to fame on TikTok, and he produces a lot of content up there, and a lot of people love. Are you a fan of his, or
I'm kind of like just complacent. I don't really
yeah?
like watch a lot of his content. I know he's best friends with Megan Trainor, and so I like sometimes see his things, but I don't find him like that funny, to be honest.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking that's probably how I would probably fall into it, but I don't know. But well, he recently he didn't go public about his breakup, but his ex-boyfriend Patrick Johnson kind of put him to blast recently and basically posted a whole thing that said, when you realize your ex completely exploited you for your relationship views and used your relationship for engagement, yet you had feelings and treated him better than he's ever been treated before. Thank God I'm over his attention seeking ass, which is kind
Yeah,
of a lot to put up there. He also said, just to kind of like put it into perspective, how horribly my ex was. Again, he never really used his name, but we know who we're talking about. We had gone to the Taylor Swift Argentina show, and we had left before the first time that Taylor had said Karma's the guy on the Chiefs. And Taylor Swift has all these like unspoken words on what her next project is to her fans. He said, I genuinely asked if he saw that Taylor had made that lyric change live, and he looked up from his phone and said, I don't fucking care. In which case, then he said, I couldn't believe this. He said he went into the bathroom and recorded a whole thing about that. He said, and so that kind of just sealed the deal for him that, I don't know. He said, I'm so much better for being without him. I can't believe I lived through that. If you're here and if you're still here, please stick around, because basically he put him on blast, and Chris has yet to say anything. Right. I'll say one more about another couple, and then we'll discuss. Survivor star Jonan Wirgo splits from boyfriend Christian Tomas, and Jonan Wirgo in 2023 made it to the top 3 on Supervivientes. It's Spain's version of Survivor. It's really sexy and really hot, and was a contestant on Spain's Dancing with the Stars in 2024. He announced that he and his photographer boyfriend Christian Tomas have called it quits after dating for 8 years. And both of them used their platform together. They opened up 3 restaurants during their 8 years together. They were constantly posting content together, showing their relationship. And at one point during their relationship, they actually said that we, as much as we are in love with each other, we want to actually open the relationship up. I desire another guy's skin, and one of them said that he was more polyamory, which they put that out there to the public. Well, now it just seems after 8 years that they are disclosing that they are sadly ending their relationship together after this time, and they wish each other well. I guess the question is, it's when you put your relationship out there so much for the public with social media, and I mean, they had an 8-year run, Jeremy. The other 2 put themselves out there. I'm not exactly sure how long they were together, but you put yourself up for blast and for everybody to live this experience with you. A, could you do this? And B, what do you think about their public splits?
So, A, definitely not. I'm kind of happy that I feel like I'm a generation behind of just the whole like social media, everything on your life being in social media. And I also I watch TikToks, but I don't really have any interest in making them specifically. And I feel like it would really annoy me being in a relationship with someone that has to record every like waking moment and just constantly make videos of food and clothes and like just every single moment, getting dressed, get ready with me, and like I ate here and this is a day in my life and all of that kind of shit. I feel like I would definitely not be up for that and not sign up for just having everything be on blast. And I can't imagine doing it solo, even more imagine it being in a relationship and having it all be aired out online. I feel like it makes it worse. And I also feel like you open it up to so much judgment from all the onlookers that are seeing it and don't know the semantics or like the real reasonings why things happen. And I don't know, I just feel like maybe it's odd to say, but I kind of feel like I wonder if the communication for them isn't great and it gets lost in translation of providing so much content to the public.
Yeah, listen, I get it. We're content creators in many ways. I'm had this show for 8 years. You've been a part of it for 8 years. A lot of what we do is put ourselves out there. I talk about my fiance and how we're getting married, and so I get it. I'm a different age though, and not all of my content is based on putting my relationship out there. But I think when you do and you live it's pretty much the next equivalent to a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just before, I do a lot of research for the show where I'm always watching like clips, and I saw Erica Jane say the pros and cons of being on The Housewives and all of the notoriety and all the gigs she's gotten because of the show. On the other hand, she also stated in the same context that you are up for scrutiny. Well,
Yeah.
these guys are of the same thing as well. And when you put your relationship up like that, including the changes that you're going through. So if you've now decided that you're opening the relationship up and you're telling all your audience that, well, then you're going to see a lot of commentary in that, and it's going to stress the relationship out. If you're not doing the work and seeing somebody professionally about helping you navigate through this, it's going to ultimately take a toll. And so, I think you just have to take the good with the bad. That, well, I don't think I could do this and work so closely with my partner like that it was dependent on the content that we put out there, because I just think it would really stress it out, even at my age right now. And I don't have the energy to do that. I think it gets old real fast. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, exactly. So, oh my gosh. And on that note, I thought we'd give some advice on something was relating to that. It was a Reddit thread that said dipping our toe into non-monogamy. So much like these couples, this one a little bit longer, they wrote, after 13 years together, my husband and I have started dipping our toes into non-monogamy, mainly playing together with thirds. Our relationship is rock solid, and for us, this has just been a really fun way to spice things up and connect more with more gay men or other gay men. We're also hoping it could lead to some new friendships along the way. We're not really into quick anonymous hookups, more into getting to know someone, feeling a vibe, and seeing where it goes. So I'm curious, do you have any advice on the best ways to meet other guys or couples? Are apps the way to go? And if so, do you think it's better to have a joint account or, oh, wow, they're asking about that. Joint accounts with the hookup apps. I was thinking, I'm going through this right now, so of course I'm thinking banking accounts, but I mean joint grinder accounts. At the end of the day, we're just looking to have some fun together, but also connect with good people and hopefully build some meaningful friendships too. And what I can say with this is playing with the third can be a lot of fun. I've done that with my fiance, and I've had issues earlier on with more jealousy than, say, my fiance has, but we've had to talk more about it to make this work. But it can bring up more issues, and you need to be aware of that. Same back to these guys. It can bring up stuff. I mean, what do you say for dipping their toe into non-monogamy after 13 years?
I don't discredit it at all. I mean, I think that you do whatever works, and if you come to the same decision together and your relationship stays strong and your communication stays like good between you two, then that's really all that matters, and that's up to you. And I think as far as like looking, I think you have to kind of have all options open. So like maybe in public at gay bars and then also on the apps, probably both, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
know how well it would work for I remember like on the apps, just finding like a solid person to meet up with was already difficult just being solo. So I can only imagine if it's two people, like they have to be into both of you and then like be free at the same time. And it's just there's complications with all of that. But it could definitely be fun if the experience came up and it worked for the couple.
You bring up great points, because you're right. We talk about all the time how hard it is just to meet somebody that isn't going to ghost you just as a single person. But I do like the honesty of putting yourself out there as a couple and just saying, hey, here is us, and preferably then have the pictures to back it up. I will say it is easier in person when two people meet and you see the energy of both people. easier to meet up with, say, a third at cruise type bars and make that happen. But you're right, it's not always easy. There's a really interesting website that took over for Craigslist called Double. I think it's called Double List, or you can find that out. But essentially, it has taken over, at least here in the States, for putting what you're actually double list. Yeah, it's called Double List. And they do have personals connecting, and you can put up exactly with pictures what you're looking for. There's a free account if you just want to go that route. I think if you want to put more pictures up there or look at other people's pictures, then you have to pay for a little bit more. But if it's something that you're really into on something like a personals list, it takes over that Craigslist thing that so many of us have missed. So that would be my advice to you. Okay, switching gears over to how hard it is sometimes to really cultivate and the power of gay friendships. And Hack star Mark Indelicato. If you remember Mark Indelicato, he was famous for Ugly Betty. He was Did you watch Ugly Betty?
Yes, I loved it.
Do you remember Mark? He was the youngest brother. He was coming out and gay and so young at
Yes,
the
his mom
time.
was a Latina.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, now Mark is a full-grown man, gay in real life and on Hacks, and season 3 is out of Hacks, and he's doing really well. And he was in a recent interview that was asking him the question about one of the seasons, and they actually asked him the question. I love the conversation that Damien, his character, has with Deborah, which is the star of the show, in the car about how hard it is to be the most perfect, desirable gay. First, it was like you had to be hairless. Now it's into being hairy. And then you got to have muscles. Have you experienced these feelings in real life? They asked Mark. And he said, I don't think that you could be a cis gay man and not experience those feelings of the idealism of a certain archetype. While I felt those anxieties, I've always tried to kind of train myself in mind to lean into me and my own identity, because I feel like the more that you try to be like someone else, the more people feel like you're trying to be someone else. You know what I mean? It's disingenuous and therefore not attractive. I think the more that people try to be like other people, the less attractive they are. I like self-assured people. And I love what he had to say. And just really quickly to pair this up and we'll discuss, there was a Reddit that reminded me a little bit of this, and it was by a 35-year-old who said he's feeling lonely and bummed about my lack of gay community. I know social media is a bunch of fuckery, but when I scroll through Instagram, I see a lot of gay men, and frankly, most of my exes, with strong friendships, with big friend groups, thriving careers, incredible bodies, and creative lives filled with travel and stability. It makes me wonder why that hasn't clicked for me. Sometimes it feels like status, appearance, humor, loud personalities, and wealth are what drive connections. And honestly, he's starting to realize the part he's just wonders if he has a place within the community. When you hear things like what Mark is saying about just not looking at what you see on Instagram and then say what this person is really saying about finding community, what are your thoughts about what Mark says and the Redditor?
I think he's definitely spot on. I think that it is most attractive when you are genuine and try to be yourself and not try to be someone else. And I agree with the Reddit thread as well, because I do feel like it depends on the settings that you're in, but I definitely feel, especially gay settings, when they're cliquey, you can feel like not a part of it or an outsider. Like, for example, I've always felt like that at circuit parties. They've just never been something that I really love, mostly because of the music, but
Right.
also because of the vibe and the energy there. So I feel like, because I've always felt, because I'm not huge and muscly and either hairy or just whatever the whole clique or vibe is of that specific circuit party, I've definitely felt the same way that the person on the Reddit thread said. And I can easily see how, dependent on the setting, you could feel like that. Like, depending on what club or bar you choose to go to and whatever gay cliques you're around, like, even, for example, like White Party in Miami, or just whatever setting that you put yourself in. And so I do like the advice that I think that you have to look within, and you have to get to, or at least try to get to, a secure place where we all have things that we don't like about ourselves or that aren't our favorite, and we all have room for improvement. And I think that just knowing yourself and trying to be happy with what you have is like key to finding a relationship, but also just like making
Survival.
yourself, yeah, survival, but also making yourself open to new friendships, new relationships, any of that.
Absolutely, and amen to what you said. I think you really, I agree with what Mark's saying in many ways, is that you kind of have to listen. There's no taking us away from social media. It is here to stay, at least for the time being. And well, it would be so easy to say, hey, just get off of TikTok and Instagram. That's not going to happen for a lot of us. It's a part of our lives. And the key, I think, is to keep that there. But if you will, sometimes put it on the back burner. And what you should put on the front burner is, like you said, cultivating you and what are you interested in, what makes you special. And like what Mark's saying is, find and things that you're passionate about. And when you do that is when you start to cultivate friendships and colonies and beautiful people around you, that then you can pull back social media up every so often and be like, yeah, what are the kids doing to keep up with them? But you'll know that you have your own tribe and what makes you interesting. And I know it's so easier said than done, but it really, it's a really good balance of kind of balancing both of those things out, because, that's what this is all about, is finding your own. And even as somebody of a certain age, is that I can find myself going down that rabbit hole too, of, oh, I don't look like that anymore, to compete with some of those other people. And it's like, I don't need to compete. It's not necessary. And so good conversations that we always continue to need to have. And I love what Mark has said. Check out the new season. I think they're on season 3 of Hacks, and I'm so happy for him, because it's so great to see him from this little kid, basically adolescent, to a full grown man, and he's killing it. So good for him. Oh my goodness. I wanted to get your take on this next Reddit thread, because it had to do with, how do you turn a room into something else? I'll read it and then we'll discuss. They were saying, how to make a guest bedroom into a playroom. And by playroom, we're not talking about children. That can be an innocuous guest room still when need be. They wrote, I'm a single mid-30s gay living in a gay neighborhood, and I've been renting a house for a few years. I'd like to make my guest bedroom into a play area dungeon for sex. It already has a bed that I just set play sheets for, and space for my portable sling. Best investment, they said. I'd like to decorate it with gay erotic art and have sex parties occasionally. Nothing crazy. It's not a huge room house. Has anyone had any luck with making a playroom that can still function as a normal bedroom, that won't get the parents or straight friends in a tizzy when they come over? I don't want to have a redo the entire room when having guests. The sling comes down in 5 minutes and I can change the bed sheets for normal ones, but other things I feel like will make it less easy to switch between the two functions. And I couldn't help but think on a recent episode of Mid-Century Modern, Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer series that I watched the whole thing and loved it, where when the mom of Nathan Lane passes away, they decide after several months to turn, yeah, and they decide to they want to turn it into a gym at one point, which is hilarious. And that turns out we'll let you watch that episode. But I wanted to talk to you, who has such expertise on changing a room and how you can do it. What would be your advice? How could you change a room so that when it could be a playroom where you could invite people over, but then let's just say, I don't know, an aunt from the South is coming over, and maybe I don't want to see all that. What would be your advice?
I mean, I think for as far as the artwork goes, I would stay very neutral. So I would say you want to go with things that you could easily cover up, or maybe you have artwork on the walls, but then you put gay artwork over it that you can
Right.
take down when they're there. Like, I'll never forget when you took down the shower curtain for your mom to visit. You're like, she doesn't want to see Tama Finland's huge dick ramrod up someone else's ass. And so
Exactly.
I think also making it dark and moody, but that for me is like a given with a bedroom. I love a good dark and moody bedroom, so I would say like blackout curtains and shades and a dark color that looks nice in daytime for whatever guests you have other than the sex party, but then is also moody and intimate at night would be another good like part of advice. And then obviously not lots of furniture, so a Murphy bed or uh, just a bed and a few end tables and not much else, just so that there's not tons to clear out of the way. And also you have to take into consideration tchotchkes. Like, you don't want a lot of really anything around like on the tabletops that you do have. So wall mounted lighting, uh, such as sconces, or obviously just something that sets the mood.
Yeah, and it's a small room, it sounds like, and I love the idea of like paint, dark, moody paint. What do you think about LED lighting that can be stripped through, that you could change, that you would only turn on like red lights when guests come, but then you have it could turn to just regular lighting?
Oh yeah, definitely. LED lighting is super popular and definitely can create a certain mood and ambiance. I would say the only thing about LED lighting is if you use strip lights, you really want to use the hack of putting tape down before and then mounting the strip lights on the tape rather than on the wall, because they really ruin walls. And
Excellent
I know
advice.
from being a painter, because I'm actually at my current job patching up someone's entire ceiling that has the whole border is like ruined and torn apart from mounting LED lights in a strip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you. And the other thing I would say too, is somebody that has worked with Airbnb, and we didn't do this, but nowadays there's all these. If you really just wanted to interchange sexy art, if you had to put that up there with just, there's all these prints that you can buy now that are framed, and you can put them in your closet and interchange, swap out
Yeah.
when it's the guest. Also, pillows are a great, obviously bedding, you're going to change the bedding when it's a
Yeah.
sex party versus a friend family visiting. And throw pillows you can now get just easily, and throw pillows zhuzh and really add a whole thing. And so yeah, and when a guest is coming over on an end table, simply put some fresh flowers. That'll make them feel welcome. And you
The
know what I mean?
little
The
chocolates.
little chocolates, of course. So yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, love that advice, and I knew I was going to get some good one from you. Lastly, there's two tours that I know you have tickets to see Lady Gaga, which I'm jealous.
I'm
'Cause
so excited.
I would be too, because I saw her Coachella performance. But here's the two tours that are, one just launched in Mexico City, Katy Perry, to some not so great criticism of these
No, I heard.
really bad dance moves. I don't even want to go. And somebody that I saw, and tickets aren't like totally going on fire. And the other one is Beyonce, who, you know, her last tour was just like on fire, and she just
Yeah.
killed it. Well, I didn't realize this, but I believe tomorrow she's settling up for her Cowboy Carter tour, but apparently tour tickets are struggling. And
Wow.
some people, yeah, it's on the latter. Do you think that maybe Cowboy Carter tour came a little bit too quickly after her last tour, which was, I mean, didn't it feel like she was just on tour and now she's
Yeah,
on
I
this?
feel like she ended one and then like maybe waited only a few months and she's ready for the next one. Also, my boyfriend went to see that one and got really
Which
expensive.
one?
The what previous one from
Yes. Oh, right.
like
Beyonce. Yes.
everything was silver and everyone wore silver and there was like robotics and animatron. I don't know, like lots of shit going on. And he said it was awful and he did not love it.
Of
Like,
Beyonce?
yes.
Oh, wow. Because
Yeah, he didn't like it at all. His sister didn't like it at all, but I don't know if it was also just no connection with the music, but uh, I'm not a big Beyonce fan, and so for me, I could care less about anything to do with Cowboy Carter. I don't like the country album, and I'm just not a Beyonce fan altogether. But I mean, to
so
each his
many people are, so many of our listeners
own.
are. I'm not either, but I respect her and I've come
Course,
around. But
she is a workhorse as well, so I'm I'm sure she'll put on like an extravagant, like crazy big show. Uh, for me, Lady Gaga and J Lo and Dua Lipa are like my girls.
yeah, I mean, I have to say on this one, it just seems like a little too quick, perhaps. Like you need to kind of have a little bit of break. Apparently, she's next up is a rock album. And at a certain point, does it seem like you're just a
You're doing,
machine? Like
yeah, every genre.
you're just trying to like conquer it, but you need to. It's an art form also to let some of this stuff sit and
Yeah,
sit with the people. And while Cowboy Carter, has done so well, I don't know. Maybe it was just a little quick too soon. We'll see. It just kicked off. It's kicking
yeah.
off. So who knows? But it might do well in the end. As far as Katy Perry is concerned, I think she made her bed when she decided to be a judge on American Idol and all that stuff. And to try and come back, I just think you lost your shtick. I
Well, I
mean,
also just feel like I don't know why. I know she has gays behind her, but I don't know why they always produce a tour that feels like a video game or like Candyland or something.
yes.
It's like they can't take. I wish that they were able to like, because I don't mind some of the songs actually, but I wish that they were able to take out some of the corny, like cartoonish parts of it and just make it cooler. I just feel like that's what it lacks is like it always looks like some sort of video game, like or amusement park or uh like
Blow up.
or like a board game or like I don't know.
Mario Brothers. It's just like, girl, like,
Janet Jackson did Jack in the Box at All for You, and it was so awesome. And it wasn't the entire show. It was just like the one song. I think it was "Come On Get Up" was
yeah.
one of the songs during that, but it was cool. But it wasn't like her entire shtick. And I feel like Katy Perry's all of her shows, it's like they can't get it to that level of it being like
An Alice in
accessible.
Wonderland
Yeah,
kind of, and now it's like space something, and
yeah, like
it,
corny and
yeah.
fighting like a dragon and
Guys,
stuff.
look up the current dance stuff that she's doing on stage, and it's like
It's funny. I
slightly
actually just
embarrassing.
saw her at. I saw that she was at Gaga's show in Mexico.
Who was at whose show?
Gaga's tour that was just in Mexico. She was there in the audience.
Gaga was in
No,
Kate.
Katy Perry. Katy
Oh,
Perry was at Gaga's show.
of course, it wouldn't
I
be the other
know.
way around. Yeah, yeah. The same thing with Madonna, uh, and yeah, exactly. Well, when I went to see Janet Jackson for the last album, Beyonce was in Janet Jackson's audience and our audience too. Not the other way around. Anyway, the shade of it all. Oh my gosh, I could talk to you forever on all this stuff. So much fun. You can always follow Jeremy on Instagram. Follow him at jrosslopez on Instagram. Follow me on the gram. I am _Stevie. Go to my X or Blue Sky at TAGSPodcast. You can get a preview of my Just for Fans or Only Fans. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.